Hey, good afternoon, everybody. KB5 MIQ Big Boy. Got a few things we're going to talk about today. Uh, had a real good field day last week. Everybody enjoyed it. Saw lots of good pot. Get down, Tenny. That's the grandkids' cat. Ham radio cat don't like her being in the office. uh, had a real good field day. I saw lots of good positive posts about field day, and one of the subjects, kind of all the subject we're going to talk about today is, again, sad hams and things they say, especially the new hams. But I saw one very negative thing that happened on field day. I don't know the name of the club, and I'm glad I don't because I wouldn't mention it. But there was a club on field day. I hope you can see what that is. Some of you may have seen it. Passing out those pins with a slash through them, as FT8 was slashed through it. You know, last time I checked, the band plan clearly states where digital operations take place at. As long as I've been a ham radio operator and I'm up in the phone portion, I've never had a digital station bother me. I do not understand why there's such a hate relationship with FT8. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm going to try it eventually. I'm working on it. And in fact, if anybody has any tips, I've got a Rascal Buxcom unit that K1ENT gave me. Having some issues getting it to work with this 897D. I need somebody to got any idea on the settings on the radio, because every time I plug it in, it throws the radio into transmit. But we're working on it. It's summertime. I don't get a lot of radio time now, so it's something I am working on. Do I think I'll like FT8? WW5A8 showed me FT8 at his house, and I'm going to be honest with you, it didn't look that exciting to me. But I'm not going to knock it. I'm certainly not going to knock it if I hadn't done it. So I'm going to try it. It may be like Logbook of the World to me. I said earlier, I'm not impressed with Logbook of the World. But I'm just going to keep doing it for the simple reason that if it'll help another ham get their certificates by my contacts being logged in Logbook of the World, I'm all for it. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to knock FT8 if I like it or not. And if you've got a club or a ham just trashing one of the modes that we're able to use, probably don't need to avoid much contact with them. Luckily, the club I'm in and the clubs I've been around here lately are really supportive of new hams. Our club today had a lot of new hams in it and doing some more testing. I'm proud to see that and glad to support the Four States Amateur Radio Club any way I can. In fact, I've got a new slide on them today that's got some club info on it. So anyway, before we get into a couple of social media posts, got a couple things here to bring up. One, got another prize for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. K1ENT's got the Broken Circuit Ranch YouTube channel. He won this external speaker and give it to me, so I'm gonna give that away along with that FT4X for two people on a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Both of y'all throw one of the Ham Shack ham radio koozies in with it. So working on that. Also, Kent's the one who built the Shack gadget y'all see here in the background. And he's got a video up on his build. It's going to be linked in the description of this video. So y'all be sure to check out his channel, Broken Circuit Ranch. Got a lot of good stuff on there. Let's see, where am I at? Oh yeah, talking about, somebody had brought up the veritable Bofang radio. People are buying them things for little or nothing off Temu, and I'm not going to get into the whole spyware Chinese radio BS or nothing like that. I don't know that much about it. They're cheap. I've got two Bayo phones I bought off Amazon. I use them. They're fine. But I'm going to show you something. If I had known about this radio right here, this Yaesu FT4X, I wouldn't own a Bayo phone. MTC's got these for $85 a piece, and this is what I'm going to give away at 1,000 subscribers. I'm not giving this one away. I'm keeping this one. I'm going to get you a brand new one. This is the easiest dual band plain FM radio, VHF, UHF radio I have ever used. And if a boomer like me can program it from memory, you young guys ought to be aces with it. Plus, think of all the cool points you'll get when you walk in as a new ham to the club meeting with one of these clipped on your side instead of the venerable Bofang. Look a lot cooler with the AC. Good radio. All right, we got a couple of social media posts we're going to talk about today. Number one, how far do you think an ICOM 718 can reach when RF is set to 50 watts, 100 watts? I'm using inverted V dipole for 10 to 40 meters. That is a loaded question that is going to get you crucified on social media for even asking that type of question. But it's a standard question. I had that answer asked me a lot in the military when I was trying to run our HF station. A lot of officers and some comm people could not understand how HF propagation works. The way to answer that question to somebody is this: learn propagation. Put the best antenna up you can possibly afford as high as you can. And the key to all that is learning propagation and learning what you're trying to do with the propagation. If you're trying to work ground wave, say on 10 meters like the Roundtable group does, you can expect maybe a 30-mile radius on a good day, with everybody polarized the same and antennas at least a reasonable amount of height in the air, 35 to 50 feet. Mine's at 50 feet. I can hear everybody pretty good on mine. So, but there's no blanket answer to say I can talk 1,000 miles, because you may get up one day and talk to Europe on 100 watts. Every contact I've made in ham radio has been on 100 watts or less with various antennas I've made, from wire dipoles to directional Yankees. So you've got to learn propagation, and you got to learn exactly what you're trying to do with the radio. So that's about the best way I can answer that. All right, got another question here. Let's see. I have an ICOM 7300. What is a good amp to help me DX a little better without breaking the bank? All right, gets back to the whole amp question. I know guys that run amps, and I don't. I've made every contact I've ever made on this wall, like I said, 100 watts or less. I've got all 50 states, cards from all 50 states, and I got about 63 countries up there. And a lot of guys, well, that ain't much. I've worked more than that. Well, that you probably have, but I don't get to work radio every day, especially in the summer. I've done more since I've been retired, but again, in the summertime with cows and stuff, it's hard for me to get on the air every day. But before you invest in an amp, get you a copy of this ARRL antenna book. And it doesn't have to be the new one. You can look at a used bookstore or used online. Just find one, because the principles from an old one to a new one are going to be the same. That will help you more than anything. And down the road, if you want to get an amp, get one. But remember, you got to have a better grade of feed line and an antenna capable of handling the wattage you're going to put out. And remember your RF exposure guidelines you have to go by. So I don't knock amps, but I've never owned one and don't see myself owning one in the future. So anyway, well, that's all I can think of for today. Appreciate everybody subscribed to the channel. We're getting closer to that 1,000 subscribers. Vern 6 has still got that Rig Expert Analyzer. There'll be a pictures on the end of the video with it and his KV5SIX, and he is good in the call book or address for contact info. Main Trading Company has got all kinds of stuff on their website now. They've got a lot of dealer stuff in and getting a ton of used gear. So good way to check out used gear. Well, I appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel, and let me get this thing where it'll turn off. Old Ham Radio Cat's fine. She's laying over here in a chair right now. She's kind of being a little sassy here today. All right, everybody. Thanks again. This is KB5 MIQ Big Boy 73.